All right, good morning. I'm John Ahmann, President and CEO of the Westside Future Fund.
I am Ebony Ford, proud English Avenue resident here on the West Side. Thank y'all for being here today.
Hello, good morning. What's good, you beautiful people of Atlanta's West Side? My name is Benjamin Earley. Happy to be here with you all this morning.
Absolutely.
So this is a very exciting morning for us because we're back in person at the Transform Westside Summit. We're back in person at the gathering spot.
Absolutely.
So for all of you all that are here back in person with us, thank you for being with us. And for all of y'all that are watching live, thank you for tuning in. But I will say, we're very grateful. We have free Chick-fil-A, so if you're watching it live and you're within 10 or 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes, come on down. We got plenty of Chick-fil-A. We've got coffee, fruit, free food. So come on down to the gathering spot for the Transform Westside Summit. Absolutely. And we've got a exciting program for us today. And do a quick overview. This morning we're going to do a little introduction here, and then we're going to do our devotion. We got a devotion speaker, Olivia Maxwell, at the On the Rise Financial Center. And we're going to go back. We used to, when we're back in person, always do the self-introductions. We'll do those today, the self-introductions, and then we'll be on to our program today. And we've got a great program. We thought we'd really give an update on the Westside Future Fund's Home on the Westside program, the part that really focuses on putting people into the right kind of housing. We also, part of Home on the West Side, support the Booker T. Washington cluster. Excellent. So we'll be talking more about that program this morning. But it's a very exciting month for a Pacific gender. Right?
Yes, it is. And that is for women. It is still Women's History Month. So we're still celebrating women today. All the women in your life, please make sure you celebrate them. Celebrate them all year, to be completely honest, but definitely this month. And also, if you did not know, Women's History Month actually started out as a week. And as I said at the last summit, that is nowhere near enough time, okay? So it wasn't until, and that was in 1980, it wasn't until 1987 that then President Reagan made it an entire month. So we're very grateful for that. And the theme for this year's Women's History Month is Women Providing Healing and Promoting Hope, which according to the National Women's History Alliance is both a tribute to the ceaseless work of caregivers and frontline workers during this ongoing pandemic, and it's also recognition of the thousands of ways that women of all cultures have provided both healing and hope throughout history. So again, celebrate your women this month, celebrate your women all year.
All right, that being said, we definitely want to stay connected with you. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Please be sure to like, subscribe, follow our channels. Help us share this information. Again, these summits, we're always sharing vital information relevant to the West Side and Atlanta at large. The only way that it is of use to anybody is if people hear about it. So help us in spreading the word by sharing the video. Again, hit the like. That always adds to the algorithms, dispersion of the video, so that helps. Do us a favor, y'all, come on. But we appreciate you tuning in. Go ahead and drop us a morning comment in the comment section, just saying good morning, happy Friday, whatever your morning greeting, just expressing a little bit of love and appreciation for us all waking up to be on this beautiful day. Yes. We're looking forward to staying tuned with you and staying engaged with you throughout this morning's show, as well as throughout the coming weeks up into the next summit. But we will be checking in with you a little bit later, so go ahead and give us a morning greeting and we'll be happy to follow up with you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, also, if you're watching live, everyone here they have a program on their chair, but we have up on our website a program you can download. It's a PDF, so if you're watching live and want to catch up with the bios of the speakers and other information about the program today, please grab our bulletin. It's a PDF up on our website. But now we're going to go to our devotion statement. So, a really important part of our program is grounding with the devotion. And for those that are new to watching us, and those that have watched before know what I'm about to say next. So we always draw inspiration from the lesson of Nehemiah from our devotion. So we ask our speaker just to draw inspiration from that. And for those that aren't familiar, the lesson of Nehemiah goes from the Old Testament, goes back to Jerusalem, called back to Jerusalem, a suffering city, and the story of how that city is rebuilt, and rebuilt, I think on a foundation of values. So we're very excited today that our devotional speaker is Olivia Maxwell, and she leads the On the Rise Financial Center that is now located in the Quest Impact Center in Vine City. So we're great to have them so close by, and they're a real partner with the Westside Future Fund, because as you'll learn as part of the Home on the West Side, when folks need financial coaching, financial counseling, especially to build their credit worthiness to qualify for a mortgage so they can buy a home, the On the Rise Financial Center provides that assistance and that coaching. So we'll hear more about that this morning. but we're grateful for Olivia. Has a real heart of faith to hear from her in just a moment. And I'm going to read a devotional statement. We always read the devotion statement to kind of ground us, but it's become our tradition to begin our meetings with a positive, inspirational message from a member of our community, recognizing that many in our community are driven by their spiritual faith to participate in the Westside revitalization effort. The time at the beginning of our meetings is an opportunity to share various inspirational reflections. While the speakers may articulate their personal faith, it's meant to be inclusive, inspiring, and meaningful, with the story of Nehemiah as our guide. So Olivia, I'll ask you to come on up, and we'll exit which the other way.
Okay.
All right. So thank you, Olivia, for leading us this morning.
Thank you.
All right.
Blessings.
Please,
Thank you
yes,
so
thank
much. Blessings to you and good morning, everybody. My name is Olivia Maxwell, and I hail from two spots, but today I greet you. Originally, I would greet you as Executive Director for On the Rise, absolutely, but I also greet you this morning as Reverend Olivia Maxwell, who is the Associate Pastor of Congregational Care at Ebenezer Baptist Church. So this morning I stand in that stead to welcome you, to most importantly give you the light of God, I believe, as we shine it this morning. Would that be okay? Now, as we always say, and so if you're in your living room, I admonish you to go ahead and say amen, so that we can move along faster. Just like they say in church, if you amen with me and be my amen corner, I think we'll be okay. Does that sound good? Amen. Amen. Well, blessings to be with you. It is truly my honor, truly my pleasure. It's my pleasure, and it is my call to serve on the West Side. I will say that many have taken and many do positions, and many come into working within their various steads, wherever that may be, out of a job, right? So many of us have jobs, right? I don't have a job. I have a call. And I know many of us have a call. That we don't do the work of Westside Future Fund, the work that we have done, that we're doing collaboratively, is not the work of simply just a job or an opportunity for us to be able to just get up in the morning and get a paycheck. It is a call. It is an absolute dedication to having a commitment every single day of our life to be able to impact something greater than ourselves. It is a call and a dedication for equity. It is a call and a dedication that simply says, I am blessed and I thank God for what I have, and I'm bringing others up with me. That's the work we do each and every day on the West Side. That specifically is the work that all of us collaboratively do day by day as we work to revitalize. Sometimes we think revitalization is a new effort, something that just happened or that is new to what happens in the world. But I think as those who may study any level of biblical text or scriptural text or sacred text, whether you're looking at the Quran or whether you're looking at the Torah or whether you're looking at the Bible, the reality is no matter what faith you're in, there has always been rebuilding. It doesn't matter what area, what part of town. Have you seen Atlanta? Every area, even outside of Atlanta, is building and rebuilding, restoring and renewing. I first want to just also say that as we look at this concept and think about this notion of rebuilding and revitalizing, there is a nation now that is not able to revitalize but is being displaced. There is a nation now, and I'm speaking of Ukraine, that is sitting in war-torn times with their homes being completely eradicated simply out of a notion of land ownership or opportunity. Revitalization is soon, and we believe, to come to that area, to that nation, to the people. But our hearts remain with them. Our hearts stand with them in the midst of it all. Not to wax political, but simply to understand with compassion that as we think of homes, as we think of livelihoods, as we think of living, we can't forget that there is a segment of our world that unfortunately is not living their best life. a bunch of people who have lived and were living in an area that they called home and are now more than 30,000 plus displaced. We take a moment now just to let our hearts remember, let our hearts pray, let our hearts reflect on the conflict within Ukraine. And we take a moment of silence just for those lives lost and for those homes lost, for those individuals displaced, that we may remember them in prayer. As we think and reflect and we live amidst a very uncertain, unsure time, this is not the first time that it's been so. We have lived through many, many storms, many, many trials. We've lived through many moments in history, many struggles and conflicts. But I will say, if there's one thing that has always brought me comfort, is that no matter what happens, that there is a way through, there is a God that hears, and there is an opportunity to always revitalize and rebuild. When you look at the text of Nehemiah, and it doesn't matter, just so you know, Nehemiah does not just straddle the Bible. It is not just biblical or Christian, but it is also represented in the Torah. So in the Jewish text, the Nehemiah also exists. So as we look at Nehemiah as our catalyst today for inspiration, let us look towards Nehemiah 1:11, and it reads, Lord, let your ear be attentive to the prayer of your servant and the prayers of your servants who delight in revering your name. Give your servant success today by granting him and us favor in the presence of our community. I am, and I was, the cupbearer to the king. So if I was in the pulpit, I would say that my title would be Hold My Cup. But if I'm not, since I'm not in the pulpit, I guess I'll just say, y'all hold my cup. Holding my cup, what does that mean? Within this passage, we are hearing the voice of a servant. We're hearing the voice of one who's not an ordinary man by any means or stretch of the imagination. In the book of Nehemiah, was a time where there was what we are doing now, which is collaborative revitalization. Not one person or one household worked in the book of Nehemiah for this notion of revitalization, but there was a land that was being revitalized by families. And if you were to read the book in its entirety, you would see that everybody who came together had their part. Everybody played a role in the revitalization of what was known at that time and that moment, and where, in particular, Nehemiah left Persia and said, I want to go to Israel to help rebuild. And so in this notion of rebuilding and this notion of creating, now I know we all have either a fixation on this level and this notion of a wall, but believe it or not, they were building a wall. Not the wall that we knew of a couple of years ago, but the wall that we know of as protection. It was a symbol of protection from anything outside that would come and harm. And the officials essentially, here was Nehemiah saying, I am coming and I would like to come and I would like to get permission, King, if you grant me permission, but send me with some letters. And so the king said, what do you mean, send you with letters? He said, send me with some letters that will let all of those that see me know that I'm not coming by way of just coming. I'm not coming on my own strength, but I'm coming with your blessing, and that I'm coming with some level of favor and recognition that I'm coming to assist. I'm coming from this land for which I've served you as a cupbearer so that I might be able to go on to do the work of helping in this revitalization effort. Nehemiah had a very prominent position. It wasn't one that was just a lowly cupbearer. A cupbearer was a trusted individual, one who was trusted on the earth to do the will and to specifically ensure that nobody brought harm to the king. So imagine the king having to give letters and then tell everyone, hey, you know what? He's leaving to go to another land to help them out, but he's the one that secures me. He took the trust that he had already engendered from the king. He took the trust that he had already engendered from his community, and he brought that with him, and he said, I would like to help rebuild this wall, protect this city, build and revitalize this space. The reality is that in that movement, in that work, there was no way that he could do it by himself. He had to do it knowing that there was a God standing with him. And so in his movement, in his desire to move forward, he simply said just a few key words: Lord, hear and be attentive to my prayers, for I am your servant, and my prayer and all those who are praying with me delight in calling your name. Give us success today by granting us favor amongst the community. Our role today as a cupbearer, our role every single day should be to say, hold my cup. Why? Because I hold your cup as you hold my cup. I'm holding your concerns as you're holding my concerns. I am making sure that you are safe, just as you make sure that I am safe. Hold my cup is the message of today. Hold my cup as I hold your cup. And collectively, as we hold each other's cup, securing safety, ensuring trust, ensuring that we're compassionate and caring and loving towards one another, that in all revitalization efforts, regardless whether it's Home on the West Side, whether it's Westside Future Fund, whether it's On the Rise, whether it's Quest, regardless of what companies we represent, what organizations, what facet, or what understanding we bring, we each have a desire, prayerfully, and a dedication to holding one another's cup, ensuring one another's safety, ensuring everyone has well hydrated, right? Because you can't live without water. And simply ensuring that you show compassion in every moment of every day. So today, I charge us all to simply ask our neighbors, can you hold my cup? And entrust our neighbors to hold ours. Blessings be unto you this morning, this day, and each day, as we hold each other's cup. Blessings.
All right, Olivia, awesome devotion. Clearly you thought about that, so thank you. So let's thank her one more time. We're really a thoughtful. And especially as we all come back together in person, reminding us that this is a collective effort and we all need to lean into each other to help move forward. So I appreciate that message as part of your message, Olivia. Thank you. And so now the next part of our program is we're back to the self-introductions. We were still doing these online, and we'll invite everyone that's watching us online in just a moment to kind of register with us online. But this is part of the program where we would go around the room and ask everyone who is in person to stand up and back to kind of the message of the devotion, to help thy neighbor, we want to know thy neighbor. So the part of the program that I really enjoy is when we go around the room and everyone just gives up their name and their affiliation, and then we ask you to kind of stop right after that so we can get through everybody. And so we're going to do that again today. We're going to go around and do the self-introductions. We'll have a mic come up to help everyone hear your name. And then after we've done that, we're going to come back and give a few program announcements and get on with the rest of our program. So I think, and I know I see some very familiar faces in a very familiar place with so maybe we'll start right there. And you're being watched live by thousands of people too.
Okay. My name is Larry Corker. I'm the director over Generations Outreach and Next Generation Youth Center.
Go right behind you.
Good morning. My name is Sandra Bush, and I'm a legacy resident of Booker T. Washington community, and I'm going to take this privilege to say, since it's Women's History Month, the home of the artist Jewel Simon.
All right, well, thank you for that.
Good morning. My name is Anthony Bellows. I'm a longtime Westside resident.
Hey, my name's Dewey Dewberry. I'm just a friend of the West Side.
Thanks, man.
Hi, I'm Tanya Coventry Strader, and I'm a consultant with Westside Future Fund.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Mike Vincequera with Trees Atlanta. I want to thank Olivia for accepting the calling to be a board member with Trees Atlanta. Thank you.
All right.
Good morning, Linda Adams, Vine City resident, co-founder of the Westside Seniors on the Rise.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Tom McCarron. I am a member of the Westside Volunteer Corps, and I'm also affiliated with Catholic World Mission.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Alan Bell, and I'm with the Atlanta Resource Foundation.
Good morning. I'm Daryl LaSure with Chick-fil-A.
Thanks, Daryl.
Hey everyone, good morning. My name is Charles Ford. I work with Westside Future Fund, and I'm a Westside resident as well.
Thanks, Charles.
Good morning. My name is Deidre Strickland, Westside Future Fund.
Lee Harrop, Westside Future Fund.
Natasha Anderson, Westside Future Fund.
Good morning. I'm Marnie Pittman with Westside Future Fund.
Good morning. Robin Washington with Westside Future Fund.
All right, we're going to do everyone, including the crew, so if you see a pause in your broadcast, it's because the crew is introducing themselves.
Good morning. I'm James Hammond with Icon Filmworks.
I'm Brandon Brando of TMPAV.
David Herring, TMPAV.
Tasama Haskins, TMPAV.
Shobek Cillian, TMPAV.
Jamel Evans, TMPAV.
Elijah Randall, Iran Media.
Nicole Jones, Westside Future Fund.
Good morning, Kelsey Wright with the Westside Future Fund.
And we can hear from you again.
Blessings, Olivia Maxwell, On the Rise Financial Center, and Ebenezer Baptist Church, proud member, board member of Trees Atlanta.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Caitlin Behringer, Mechanicsville resident and employed with Open Hand Atlanta.
Thank you. Didn't get you, did we?
Gerald Peak, Icon Filmworks.
Thank you.
Hey, good morning. Michael Paris with the Council for Quality Growth.
Good morning. Akia Floyd with the Atlanta Music Project.
And we got that, and I'll meet it over there. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Sylvia Russell, and I chair the GO team of the Booker T. Washington High School, and I am also on the board of directors of the Westside Future Fund.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Beverly Tatum, and I am proud to serve as the chair of the board of the Westside Future Fund, and also a proud member of the Hollis GO team.
All right, thank you. Well, you have our co-hosts.
Oh, sure, yes. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for being here and watching from home. My name is Ebony Ford, and I'm with Westside Future Fund.
Good morning. My name is Benjamin Earley. I love y'all. Westside all day. Westside resident, 4 generations in, so y'all know it's in my blood. Okay.
Oh. Yes, I'm so sorry. English Avenue, baby goes to Hollis. I serve on the GO team with Dr. Beverly Tatum. How could I forget that?
Look, because you got to rip your hood up in here. We appreciate you.
Good morning. My name is Raquel Hudson. I am with Westside Future Fund and also a member of the GO team at M. Magnus Jones Elementary.
Good morning. Rachel Carey, Westside Future Fund.
Good morning. My name is Derrick Jordan. I'm an independent contractor for Westside Future Fund, also a Vine City resident.
Good morning, everyone. Tameka Askew, Westside Future Fund.
All right, I always love the introduction and see how we're all connected to each other. And so did I miss anyone? I know I missed one person, so I'm going to walk this way. But anyone else come in, raise your hand. I don't think we did.
Rogers Williams, Icon Filmworks.
All right, thank you. So anyone else want to be? Yeah, we got a moment over there pouring coffee. We don't want to. We're going to, yeah.
Good morning, I'm Tasha Ford. I'm an alum of the illustrious Clark Atlanta University, and I'm also the Community Outreach Manager for Construction Ready, which is a pre-apprenticeship program. We're located on the west side and statewide.
All right, well, awesome. Well, thank you for being here this morning. All right, well, if y'all could all give yourself a round of applause for doing the self-introductions. So I think Benjamin and Ebony, we're back up. All right.
I think I'm mic'd up already though, John, so we good there. But yeah, we're gonna check in with some folks on social. We got a few people watching right now on YouTube. Who we got? Natasha Anderson, good morning, thanks for tuning in. Muriel Murphy, thank you. Luxury Brand Ash, appreciate y'all tuning in. Ebony Jones, Rob Browner, Sherry Belil, go Parent Avengers, Avenge on, Booker T. Washington Cluster, the Booker T. Washington Cluster, excuse me. W. Allen Bell, thank you for tuning in. Cynthia Wright Blossom Game, thank you for tuning in. Rochelle Barnett, thank you. Kevin Holt, thank you. Let's see who we got on Facebook real quick. Dan Cathy, what's up, Dan? How you doing this morning? Thanks for tuning in. Faye Hammonds, thank you. Mother Moore, I love you dearly. I can't wait to see you again when we do our interview, and I need that interview. Thanks for tuning in. Jania Billingsley, thank you. Myra Surratt Walters, thank you. Again, Sherry Belil, Parent Avengers, they always watch on both platforms, so that's just double the support because that's just showing how much love they got for the West Side. We love y'all too. Quasandria Turner, thank you. Most Valuable Kids of Greater Atlanta, y'all are a great organization. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate all the work you're doing. And Glendia King, thank you. And Samantha Watkins, we appreciate you. Everybody that's tuning in right now, thank you again. Help us share this information. So go ahead, as you're watching, hit that share button and send that on to some people who you know can benefit from it or who would find this information valuable in some form or fashion. Again, we appreciate you tuning in. We love staying in touch with you. We love staying engaged with you. If you want to be a part of future summits, for example, if you would like to come and issue a devotional statement, we would love to have you. Send us a message, DM us or email us at info@westsidefuturefund.org. We'll be happy to stay in touch and engage with you.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to hit that one again because we do want to invite people, especially on two things. One, you saw that Olivia did a great job as a devotional speaker, so we love to draw people from our community to give the devotions. So if you're interested in giving a devotion, if you always felt like you want to do something like that, we want to invite you, send us an email. And the second, as we plan out our summits for the rest of the year, if you have a topic or something you think we ought to really lift up and talk about, please let us know about that as well. So devotion speakers and topics as we program out the rest of the year. We appreciate that. And I'm going to take a minute, talk a little bit about the Westside Future Fund for those that may not be familiar with our organization. There it is. Is it behind me too? Okay, awesome. So the Westside Future Fund, we're a not-for-profit, stood up to focus on some of the historic neighborhoods on the West Side. And we have as our vision statement, community Dr. King, we're proud to call home, kind of reflecting that Dr. King and Corretta's last home was in Vine City on Sunset Avenue. And actually, I could also say now I've been living myself in Vine City for 2 years. So draw a lot of inspiration from our vision and our mission and our values. And one of the values we really want to hold ourselves accountable to is we see do with the community, not to the community, do with the community, not to the community. And it was great as part of the introductions, especially as the Westside Future Fund team introduced a lot of the ways we're working with the community. So thank you for that. We are governed, the Westside Future Fund is a not-for-profit by all volunteer board of directors. So you can see we got a great board of directors. 2 of my board members are in person this morning, but I thought it was interesting that they both first noted their more important affiliation, the Go Team affiliation. So yeah, all right. So the Booker T. Washington. So for those that aren't familiar, the Go Teams are the local governance teams for the school. So as part of APS being a charter cluster, they devolved more governance at the school level. So Sylvia Russell started the Hollis Go Team that went to Booker T. Washington and then got elected chairwoman of the Booker T. Washington Go Team. So thank you for your service there, Sylvia. And Dr. Tatum has been a long member of the Hollis Go Team, serving with our co-host, right? Ebony, also on the Hollis Go team. So thank you all both for that. And I heard one of our other board members in the social media check-in, Kevin Holt, so thank you for watching this morning. So thank you to our board that gives us a lot of lift to get all the work done. And then the last is our team slide. So you can see folks that work with our team that are here this morning. We're also, and you heard some of the self-introductions, some of the consultants that support us. And you'll hear from one of them this morning, Derrick Jordan, who actually used to be on our board of directors. So thank you, team. And our next reminder is our free giveaway. So it's very exciting. Thanks to the Home Depot Foundation, and I'm looking at what slides were coming up. So thanks to the Home Depot Foundation and Goodwill, at the end of our broadcast, we'll have we'll read two names, and one will win the Home Depot gift card, and one will win the Goodwill of North Georgia gift card. So you can still register for that gift card. If you're watching online, if you go to our website, you still got a few minutes. There it is, the Home Depot Foundation and Goodwill of North Georgia. Excellent, thank you all. So at the end of it, we'll announce those two names. And all right, so thank you. So those are my kind of quick overviews. And what we're going to get to next is our panel discussion. And so as we came, over the last couple of years, the Westside Future Fund, working with a lot of others too, has been working on one of the most urgent issues facing the West Side, which is, housing stability. And so as part of our Home on the West Side program, a big part of that is housing, high quality housing stability, so people can stay in the community that they love, or the community that they once were and want to come back. Another part of our Home on the West Side program is our education support. So we do a lot of support of the Booker T. Washington cluster, but today we're really going to focus on the housing part of Home on the West Side. And so I'm going to be very delighted not to get off stage and let Ebony and Benjamin are going to be the co-hosts, and then members of the Westside Future Fund team who they're going to introduce to give an overview of what we're doing on our Home on the West Side. So Ebony and Benjamin, come on up. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Yes, so we are going to start our panel very soon. I'm not sure if we have to bring chairs up.
Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and let them set up the stage real quick for this conversation.
Absolutely.
How y'all feeling this morning?
Woo! It's great.
It's great to be able to say that and actually have people's voices, like actual human voices, coming back. Yeah. That's a beautiful thing. Yes. Thank y'all for showing up this morning. We know it is an early morning, it's an early ask, but we appreciate everybody for spending this time with us. Absolutely. And for those of you who could only tune in via virtual, stream, we appreciate you just as much. And we look forward to actually having you come in person at the next summit, hopefully. But right now, I just want to extend our greatest thanks to everybody who actually took the time this morning to come on up, because we know gas is expensive right now. So it says a lot.
Expensive isn't even the
word. Know that you're going to spend your gas to come and spend some time with us. We appreciate it.
Yes, we do. And like Benjamin said, it's so much easier to have a little energy when you got something coming back at you, as opposed to, talking out the window back there. So really, really, from me to you guys personally, I appreciate you actually being here. And of course, we still appreciate the people watching from home. Not a problem, no hate. Appreciate you. We just really are very happy to see the smiling faces here today.
All right.
So thank y'all.
So we're going to go ahead and we're going to have our panelists come up. I'm going to come over here.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right. What we got coming
on?
Ebony, yes.
I'll leave it to you to introduce our
Okay. Well, yes. Let me do that. Absolutely. Let me get myself together here. Okay. So who we have coming to the stage today, and I want you to come up when you hear your name called. Okay. Miss Tameka Askew. Miss Tameka Askew is the manager of Home on the West Side. And how long you been with us, Miss Askew?
2 weeks.
We appreciate you being here. We're really very, very, very happy to see you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And next we have Miss Rachel Carey, who is the Chief Real Estate Officer at Westside Future Fund. Westside Future Fund. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Carey. Appreciate you being here. And then we have Mr. Derrick Jordan, who works with real estate team as a consultant, contracted, correct? Thank you for being here, Mr. Jordan. Appreciate you. And last but certainly not least, Ms. Raquel Hudson, who is the Director of Programs at Westside Future Fund. Come on up. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Now, it looks like a couple of us did not get the message about the Westside Future Fund t-shirts today. But so today, they work for Westside Future Fund. Today, I work for Delta Airlines, because I was told I look like a flight attendant today. But, I'll take that. I will take that. No problem at all. So we just want to introduce you to Westside I'm sorry, not the Westside Future Fund, but the Home on the Westside program. So it's actually, I believe it's like the flagship program for Westside Future Fund. And what it does, it focuses on community legacy resident retention on the Westside. And so for people like me who would not be able to afford to stay in my house for very long, they have the anti-displacement tax fund, which is where they pay the taxes for people who already own their homes on the West Side. And they also have two other portions of Home on the West Side. One is where they have quality, affordable rental units for renters, and they also have properties that are available for sale. Again, this is just focused around keeping our legacy residents in the community that we love and call home. And so I don't want to give too much away about it, because the first question is for you, Ms. Raquel. Tell us a little bit more about the Home on the West Side program and how the need arose for this type of assistance.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So Home on the West Side is the signature program for Westside Future Fund, and you did a great job.
Did
of
I?
Really
I was kind of nervous. I didn't know if I was going to get it right.
telling everyone what it is. So it is the signature program for the organization, and it is our way of being able to really execute and implement our commitment to community retention. So there are 3 parts to Home on the West Side, and that is our pathway to rental opportunities, also our pathway to homeownership, as well as the anti-displacement tax fund, and that's what you are a recipient of.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate you being a part of that program.
Oh, I appreciate you.
You asked, how did the need arise? And it came about from the need to have high quality, affordable housing on the West Side. We want to make sure that as this neighborhood revitalizes, that it is done in such a way that it is equitable. And so that we are able to create a mixed income community that allows for people of different incomes to stay in the community. And for those people who have been a part of the community for, a long time are able to stay. And so we want them to be able to stay and be able to afford and be a part of the transition.
Absolutely.
And take advantage of that rising tide.
Yeah, people were here when things were not so good on the West Side, and now that there's so much money coming in and so many amenities coming in, we want those same people to be here when it's getting good, So thank you. And second question for you, Ms. Raquel, what neighborhoods exactly does the Westside Future Fund serve? I know there's a specific set of neighborhoods, is that correct?
That is correct. So we serve English Avenue, Vine City, Atlanta University Center, Askew Heights.
Yeah.
I can think of the map in my head.
I know. I thought they had like a slide with
and Askew,
map on it too.
And Just Us.
Okay, thank you. Perfect. Do we have the slide with the map on it? If we don't, it's okay. Perfect. There you go. So those are the specific neighborhoods. And there's English Avenue, my neighborhood. Can you tell us a little bit more about the anti-displacement tax fund portion of Home on the West Side? How long does it pay the increase in taxes for residents?
So that part of Home on the West Side, we had a 20-year commitment. It started in March of 2017, and so anyone in the program will be able to get their taxes covered between now and 20 years from now?
37, right? From 2017 to 2037?
I'm sorry?
From 2037?
2037, exactly, 20 years.
Perfect. And so I want to talk a little bit more about the anti-displacement tax fund, because as you said, that is the portion of Home on the West Side that I am an actual recipient of. And so I think I entered the program in 2017, and my taxes will be paid, the increase in my taxes will be paid for 20 years. So that is until 2037. It's like, oh my gosh, such a blessing. And my taxes, get a little bit personal, were $27.02 in 2017. And that was county and city, right? $27.02. My taxes now are about $1,800 a year. And so, yes, and I said before on one of the summits, it's all well and good to have a fixed rate mortgage, but if your taxes are continuing to climb, what good is a fixed rate mortgage, right? Because you still could lose your house. So I am very, very grateful. I'm an actual recipient here. So if anybody had any mistrusts about these programs and what they can do and how they actually contribute to keeping residents on the West Side, I'm here to let you know it's true and it's all good. So thank you. Thank you very much.
And I actually have this next question for Tameka. Tameka, can you just tell folks what the application process for Home on the West Side is like, and can anybody actually apply for the program?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So the initial start of the application process, you have to go to the Westside Future Funds. You have to go to the website. You actually click on the Home on the Westside tab, and then there's going to be three different settings actually on there: renting, home, or the displacement tax. You have to fill out all of that in great detail. Once you finish completing that, actually, you're going to get a email that's going to come from the Westside Future Fund staff, which is going to ask you for documents. That's very important, actually, to actually have those documents, because you have to be verified.
Absolutely.
Once you're verified, you're actually sent another email, and you're going to actually be referred actually over to On the Rise Financial Center. Once you get to On the Rise Financial Center, you're going to be contacted by an intake coordinator, which is going to set up an appointment for you to be actually sit down with a financial coach, which is going to be the one-on-one setting. We'll take you through the steps, the guidelines of actually the home ownership, even on the rental side. Some people may need assistance with budgeting, your credit score, and just saving. It's not just, putting someone actually in a home, but we want to make sure that you have those services that actually are going to help you stay there as well.
Absolutely.
And a question for Rachel. We know that right now Westside Future Fund services a lot of people who are in need of rental units. So can you just talk about what the rental units program is like?
Sure. Could you forward a couple of slides to the one with the bar chart? Because I just want to give some context for how we set our goals as an organization. So back in 2017, when we started, thinking through the mixed income communities, we did some work to survey the number of housing units in the neighborhood and the incomes of the people living in those housing units. And so you can see on this slide, these were the outcomes that we found from that. And what we identified was about, just about 1,500 renters in multifamily units who were, at risk of displacement because of rising rents, because of lack of quality housing. And those were the folks in the lowest income tiers. And so we kind of set a goal for the neighborhood that as there's development happening, as there's repopulation of the neighborhoods, that there still needs to be this bedrock of about 1,500 deeply affordable multifamily, high quality multifamily units, right?
Yes.
And so we sort of thought Atlanta Housing and Quest and others would take care of about 700 of those units or so. But the Westside Future Fund, we would commit to taking on 800 of those units. Pretty ambitious goal. Wow. And so that's set our intentions and our work for the past several years and continues to guide us toward our goals. So to do that, you have to buy multifamily housing, right? And for us, that takes a few different shapes. We have purchased existing apartment complexes starting in 2018 and then adding in 2019 and 2020. And those we bought to protect the residents who were living there. Those apartment complexes were going to hit the market. We knew that the rents would go up. The new owners would, kick the people out. Where else would they go? So we bought those, to preserve the affordability of those complexes. And then, as you know, there's a lot of historic housing stock in these neighborhoods of kind of vacant, buildings that had, not been lived in for a while, that had sort of been abandoned. And so we thought we could go in and buy those and renovate them, and that would serve several purposes, right? It would celebrate the history of the neighborhoods by, renovating the housing stock that had been there. It would help reduce blight in the neighborhoods, and then it would be turned into high quality, permanently affordable housing. And the third component of that is to buy land that we can then build new apartment buildings on. And Derrick will tell you a little bit about that in a minute. But if you want to go to the next couple of slides, I just wanted to show you, so you can see here, this is sort of how we keep track internally of, how we're progressing against our goals. So for multifamily on this top line, you can see here, we have, in terms of what we have bought from land and vacant buildings, the ability to do about 323 or so units when they're renovated. We currently have 181 apartment units that are occupied and in service, and we're actively developing over 100 more. And if you go to the next slides, I'll just show you the apartment buildings that we have. So this is 507 English Avenue. This is one of our rehabbed buildings. When we got it through an award from Invest Atlanta, it was vacant, it was burned out, and we did this beautiful renovation on there, and all 6 of these units will be supported by HomeFlex, project-based rental assistance from Atlanta Housing. This is 395 James P. Brawley, another renovation that we did for 3 buildings on James P. Brawley Drive and English Avenue. This is 1300 Mason Turner. This is a new building that we built with City of Refuge. Corridor Gardens, this is one of the occupied properties that we bought right near the Beltline. 641 Jones Avenue. And 603 James P. Brawley. This is the very first building that we opened in 2019. And then, oh, one more, sorry. Of course, Villas at the Dome, the 55-unit townhouse complex right across from, not the Dome anymore, but the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Vine City. And Derrick, do you want to talk about the projects we have underway?
Yeah, sure I do. My name is Derrick Jordan again. I'm a Vine City resident. I moved in the community back in 2008. And before I jump into multifamily development, I want to speak to how important rental housing is. I remember when I was 18 and I just graduated from high school, and my mom was like, well, you know, son, once you go to college, there's no need to come back here. And one of the first stops was into my own apartment, right? And when I moved out in Atlanta in 2004, I had to move way to Norcross because that's the only place I can afford. And my rent was $525. And I was commuting in the city every day. And I'm thankful to say today, because of the Westside Future Fund, these types of affordable units that we are now creating, we have about 36 total apartment units that will be developed over the next 6 to 12 months, all in the English Avenue community. And what's important about these type of developments, Rachel showed you a couple of pictures of these developments, is the fact that they are going to be affordable to the lowest of the low income. We're going to have PBRA that's going to be attached to these projects from Atlanta Housing Authority, working with partnerships like through Invest Atlanta. We've been able to come in and acquire, and now going to be spending a total of around $6 million to rehab these units. But what we're also adding is value to the community. We are removing eyesores that have been from dilapidation and graffiti. We're going to come in with high quality units. We're going to make sure that these units are accessible, because many of these units were built in the 1950s, so they weren't thinking about those type of things back then. So it's time to change, and we have changed with those. So you're going to see new development in your community. You're going to see the creation of local jobs. There'll be temporary jobs, but there will be local jobs, all because of developments like this. We're looking at 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. This will be totally renovated. We're going through the process now. Permitting, we've been in permitting for a while, but it was due to some COVID. But we expect to be out of permitting at the end of this month on at least 3 of the buildings, and the next month we'll be out on the other 3. So we're really looking forward to just diving in, and maybe at the next show we actually have pictures and kind of where we are with renovation. If you're interested in seeing some of these properties, we have one on James P. Brawley, 356 James P. Brawley, one on 401 Lindsay, 400 Paynes, 588, 592 Paynes, 613 Echo, and one on Dalvigny that is an accessibility unit that we're going to be rehabbing. So I'm very excited with the amount of momentum that we have in our pipeline for multifamily development.
And really quick, Derrick, I wanted to just emphasize one of the points that you were making about the high quality, because I've been to every single one of these properties, and that's exactly what they are. And I say this often, that a lot of times, unfortunately, when we talk about affordable housing, what we're used to and what people who are living in, quote, affordable housing have gotten used to or been forced to get used to is dilapidated housing. And so what I love about what Westside Future Fund is doing is it's proving for not just the West Side, but for the city and hopefully the region, that affordability can come with dignity. Absolutely. People should be able to have dignity in where they stay, regardless of how much they pay for rent, regardless of how much they can afford to pay. So I love everything that these organizations and all of the partners that are helping to make it happen, including the city of Atlanta. Thank you all for all of the work that you're doing, because it really does go a long way as far as, you know, affordable housing isn't just affordable housing. I say this often as well, but it's also more money that you can put into healthcare. It's more money that you can put into starting a business. It's more money that you can put into your children and their well-being, and it's peace of mind. It actually literally affects your state of mind and your mental health. So being able to wake up every day to a beautiful, safe environment goes a long way. So thank you all for the amazing work. And speaking of some of the multifamilies coming online, we actually want to show a video from Derrick. I think it was 356 James Prevaldi.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and
Good afternoon. I am Derrick Jordan. I'm a consultant for Westside Future Fund. The Westside Future Fund continues to develop and create in the English Avenue community. Today, we have a 6-unit apartment building that we're going to be developing with Invest Atlanta and Atlanta Housing Authority. This is to continue the efforts along James P. Brawley. This building is actually located at 356 James P. Brawley, which will be comprised of 6 units. They're all going to be 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. We're going to be upgrading this totally with new kitchens, new bath. We're going to make it accessible to a handicap. We're going to upgrade all of the electrical, new Energy Star appliances. We're also going to take on actually grading and fencing out this actual property. We have seen this to be common amongst all of the rehabs that we'll be doing over the next 6 or 7 months in the community. We have another 5 projects throughout the community that we'll be doing the same kind of rehab on. It's important to note here that some of the construction that will be done here are done by Black-owned businesses. So we've hired some people out of the community. We actually hired Lane Construction, who will be our contractor on this project. We're looking at the cost of this project to be around $1.2 million. That partnership with Invest Atlanta and also Atlanta Housing Authority is crucial in keeping our rents affordable at this location. We're talking about rents that are going to range between $600 to $750 or maybe $600 to $800 a month. That's going to be a saving to our working class people here in the English Avenue community. It's going to allow them to remain in this community at affordable prices. This is going to keep the Westside Future Fund able to move forward in its efforts for community revitalization.
That is excellent. That is some good work. And I think a couple of summits ago, earlier this year, somebody said it's not just affordable housing, it's affordable living.
Yes.
Which is kind of what you said, because you have that extra money in your pocket. Now you have money to improve the other portions of your life. So that's excellent work. Now I have a question for Rachel. So Westside Future Fund has purchased a lot of single-family homes. What do you guys intend to do with them?
Sure, great question. And this is where the homeownership portion of Home on the West Side comes into play. So in addition to our multifamily goals, we think it's really important for all the reasons that we've talked about here to have a pathway for families to purchase homes so that they themselves can have a place to call their own, that they can invest in themselves and their family. And so our goal at Westside Future Fund is to develop 225 single-family homes. And where does that start? It starts with buying the land or buying the vacant homes. So we started purchasing single-family lots or vacant abandoned homes back in late 2018. And to get to 225, you got to, it takes time, right? Because you got to go out, you've got to get the properties, and then once you get the property, you've got to hire an architect to do the design. Then you've got to go through permitting. Then you've got to have a bid, and you've got to have a contractor build the house. So we started purchasing a couple of years ago, knowing that prices were just going to go up, 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 up.
Absolutely.
Wanting to be able to get these at the best price we could, because our goal is to sell them as affordably as possible. And we do that by selling them at our cost.
Yep.
And then we layer down payment assistance on to help make them even more affordable for families, in addition to whatever down payment assistance you can get from Invest Atlanta or Atlanta Housing. So we have started as of the summer of 2021 selling the homes. You can see here, this is the second home that we sold. Great story here. This is actually a home that we sold to a Spelman alumna.
Oh, excellent.
Who was moving into this house with her mother, who is also a Spelman alumna, and her son, who is going off to college. She wanted to purchase a home, in the community, so she bought this home from us and, has become a new homeowner in English Avenue. And so we've sold 6 homes over the past few months, and we have another, this is going to sound crazy, we have another 50 homes in development. But again, to everything I said about the amount of time it takes from when you buy the lot until you hire the architect and break ground, there's 4 months to a year of work going into each property before it looks like anything's happening.
Absolutely.
And that's when we start breaking ground. So we are well underway with several homes on James P. Brawley. north of Boone and around Katherine Johnson Memorial Park. And I think you all have a video of some of the next 5 properties that are coming online.
I think we definitely do with Lee on Proctor Street. Yeah. Yes. The video, Lee on Proctor. Can we go ahead?
We are at Proctor Street, about a block off Katherine Johnson Memorial Park, looking at our 3 new homes at 850, 852, and 854 Proctor. All the homes are pretty much identical, little changes to the floor plan. They're all 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath. Nice kitchen up front, great living room in the back, great porches on both ends. In addition to these 3 homes, we're renovating 2 homes across the street. All these will be ready in about a month. And later this year, we'll build 2 more homes on the same block. So it was once a vacant block will be very active. So we're going up the stairs. Upstairs is where the 2 bedrooms, the full bath, and the laundry facilities are. As with all of our for sale homes, we provide all the appliances, including washer and dryer. We move in ready. This is the rear bedroom. A lot of light. Attic access in this bedroom. Lots of storage upstairs in the attic. Here's our full bath, which is looking pretty darn good. Just need a toilet and a sink and we're good to go. And here we have our laundry facility where the washer and dryer will go. And that is right next to the front bedroom. The 2 bedrooms are about the same size. This one has a little extra light because it's got a little more, an extra window. Otherwise, they're pretty much same size, same closet space. These will be done next month. We haven't priced them yet, but sign up for a home on the west side. Let us know you're interested, and we can send you updates. We're at 843 Proctor. This renovation will be done in a little less than a month. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, lots of storage, all new everything. The floors are in, the cabinets are in, waiting on the countertops to show up. This house has got tons of storage. It used to be a duplex. We converted it to a single-family home. And here we have the other 2 bedrooms, attic access in one, lots of closet space in both of them. They are separated by a shared bathroom, which has a hallway, and the front bedroom's got probably the most light and double closets. So lots of space. All right, this is the main bedroom of 843 Proctor. Lots of windows, lots of space. It's got its own ensuite bathroom, which is pretty awesome, and a walk-in closet. Fortunately, not enough light to show it as well as it should be, but you get the picture. We're on the porch of 843 Proctor. We can see the blue house we've already sold to a Westside resident, these 3 under construction, and our 2 renovations here on this side, right next door to Katherine Johnson Memorial Park. And here's our second rehab at 851 Proctor Street. It's going to be a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. A little further, not quite as far along as its sister down the road, but it will be ready in April. Next to that, we've got 2 vacant lots. We've got Habitat building a home for us here in 2023, and the corner lot will be breaking ground later this year. 2-story homes, both 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
Just to echo what Lee said, so we don't have purchasers identified for these homes yet.
Wow.
And I just want to emphasize, we only sell homes to people who have been verified through Home on the West Side, that you have a connection to the West Side.
Absolutely.
So please spread the word, because
Yes.
we're so excited about this. It's a really great feeling to get to match people up with a home, some purchasing a home for the first time. So please register.
Please.
If you need to work with Olivia and her team to build up your borrowing capacity, go through that process. I promise we're going to keep building them.
Yes.
And if you've already got qualified for a mortgage, or you can, just come on through, because we really want to have people,
Absolutely.
happy and excited to move into these homes.
And speaking of that, it's a perfect segue to my next question for Rachel and Ms. Tameka. How does a person become financially ready to purchase one of these homes?
One of the big things that I'm excited about is we partner with On the Rise Financial Center. So once you are verified and you're sent to On the Rise and you're set up an appointment with a financial coach, that financial coach works with you one-on-one, your credit score, giving you the mortgage readiness just step by step on what it takes to actually be in a home and actually stay in the home budgeting. And I can say for myself, because I came from On the Rise as a financial coach, one of the biggest things is we can have people that are actually coming through a pipeline and you have all the credentials, but you have to be realistic with people and say, what is your debt to income ratio? Yes. Because that can actually knock you out of actually qualifying for a home as well. So they're working with you on that budgeting part, getting your credit score where it needs to be, learning how to really create a realistic budget that works for you so you can be ready for the home ownership. Absolutely.
And maybe I can talk about the down payment assistance. We do have a slide about, if you could, okay, this is the one, yeah, thank you. So this is a great example. This is a gentleman, Kevin Locke, who purchased 518 James P. Brawley from us back in the summer. Kevin worked with On the Rise for a couple of years. He's a young man who is renting in AUC, who is a public school teacher. So he was working with a coach at On the Rise to make sure that he was qualified for a mortgage, that he was ready to own a home. And the home that we sold him, I just put the numbers right here. You can see the sales price was just about $250,000. He had qualified for a first mortgage of $206,000. I don't want to go into too much business, but that's about $1,100, $1,200 a month for a house payment, including the tax and insurance escrows.
Oh my gosh, excellent.
So, but then you can see, this is the part that we really want to show you. He got $10,000 from Invest Atlanta for down payment assistance and $30,000 from us for down payment assistance. And if he stays in the home for 10 years, you won't have to pay anything back on either of those down payment assistance loans. So this is just an example of, how we really are trying to sell the homes at cost, right? And then layer in the down payment assistance on top of that to really make it an affordable option.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to your point when you were saying that sometimes people, I've heard, they think you guys are buying a lot of properties, Westside Future Fund is buying a lot, but you're kind of working against time. If you don't buy them early, they're going to continue to climb. But then you have to get it through the process and the pipeline. So that takes time, but the properties are they're there, but they're going through the process. And if you didn't get it at that time, you're not going to be able to sell it at good prices like this. So, yeah.
I have another question for Tameka. So do people have to go through On the Rise Financial Center in order to go through the program?
You do not have to go through On the Rise, but there are great benefits and advantages of going through On the Rise. I would encourage everyone to go through On the Rise. The budgeting, the home ownership part, the credit score, just having that financial one-on-one coaching, and these services are actually free. Who gets a financial coach that's free? No, really. So those are actually the benefits, and I just tell everybody to take advantage actually of that. Absolutely.
Well, and I think that's another point to really highlight and underscore at the same time, and put in quotation marks and italicize, which is because you don't always have access to resources like this, especially when you come up in an underserved community. And so, again, one of the things that I love about what the Home on the Westside program is doing, and it's providing access where there was not access before. And so, like you said, being able to have free access to a financial coach, financial literacy is so much a part of the battle for economic justice for people who have been disenfranchised for so long. And so taking that step to ensure that people have the resources, that has largely been the separation, the information, the understanding and education has been the separation between the haves and the have-nots in so many instances. So, kudos to y'all for taking that step. Question for Raquel: what does Westside Future Fund do to actually upkeep its properties that it owns, including vacant lots?
Excellent question. The answer to that is we do quite a bit. We have several properties in our portfolio, and it is our intention to be good neighbors. And so one of the things that we do is we make sure that we maintain the the yards. We have a local Westside-based company that maintains our yards during the growing season. They're out there twice a month. They're also making sure that they're cleaning up any illegal dumping that is happening on our property. And you may have seen or may have noticed in the video with Derrick especially, you would have seen the VPS panels.
Yes.
That is, it adds aesthetic and a level of security that is beyond what you would get with the normal plywood that you see a lot of homes boarded up with. Another company, Westside-based company, does a lot of our home repairs for us. So we don't go into repairing roofs, we don't go into replacing fascia boards or the painting houses when you're seeing that flaking and peeling paint, because those are things we want to kind of conserve our resources as much as possible so that those things are going to be addressed when the homes are renovated. But we do have someone that will go in and make sure the properties are secure so that there aren't any security issues or any hazards on the properties for us. In addition to that, we have monthly community cleanups. Those start in March and usually go through October or November based upon the weather. And that is another effort for us to be good neighbors. So what we say is we own properties in these neighborhoods, so we're going to help keep these neighborhoods clean. So beyond just our properties, we look at the common spaces, the sidewalks around our properties, and we usually focus our community cleanups around those areas. And those happen on the second Saturday of every month, and that is all volunteers coming out. And so we encourage anyone that wants to come out and give us a hand to come and volunteer with us. The next one is on the second Saturday in April.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm just going to re-emphasize. I'm doing a lot of emphasizing this morning, y'all. Re-emphasize the point, though. We love having our volunteers come out to just show love to the West Side. Everybody in the city knows West Side is the best side.
Yes.
Okay, we like to keep that the case. So come on out, join us. One weekend for volunteering, and that's one of many opportunities that people have to volunteer with Westside Future Fund. But the community cleanups is a great way. Whether you have a corporate team that you want to come and volunteer, or you're with another nonprofit, or you're just a resident, or somebody who cares about giving back to the community at large. Please come on out and join us. We would love to have you. Next question is for Derrick. We know that Westside Future Fund acquired the Yellow Store, fairly recently. Can you give us updates with the Yellow Store, and will the structure of the Yellow Store remain the same going forward?
So to answer your first question, the structure will remain the same. We actually had a structural engineer to go and do an overview and evaluation of the building. The building's in great condition. And actually, if you're into architecture, it's actually a beautiful building on the interior. We're talking 12, 13-foot high ceilings. That bottom floor that you see on the picture here, it is actually 2 commercial spaces on below. But upstairs, there are 4 apartments, and those 4 apartments are like 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. This is just a beautiful building, right? We actually started an RFP process back in December that we actually took in solicitations from different interested businesses in the community that responded to say, hey, we would like a business here. And we got different kind of proposals of who would like to be there. But what we wanted to do was make sure that we brought the right type of businesses in this community. So we've been going out and actually recruiting businesses that would actually be comfortable, because I don't know how familiar you all are with this location. It's a different element here, so it takes a different kind of business that's going to be comfortable in that environment. But we wanted a business that would come and also offer benefits to the community. That means hiring within the community. That means bringing in more than just maybe a barber shop or a small grocer. Because you got to think about it, if you have a barber, you only employ barbers.
Yeah.
So for those of us who don't have a license, to be a licensed barber, we couldn't work there, right? So we have to kind of look holistically at what's the best benefit for the community as far as the type of business that's going to go there. I'm very excited about one of the businesses that we've been recruiting. They would be just the ultimate leasing for this building. So we're keeping our mouth closed and prayerful on this, but I really hope it comes through. Well, what I want to say about the Yellow Store is it's very important that through John's leadership and the board that we was able to come in and acquire. Because for those of you all who are familiar with this little James P. Brawley strip, this was a drug corner. So if you drove through there, especially in the summer, if you drove through there from 5 o'clock to 12 in the morning, you were stopping to get drugs. You drive through there now, this place is boarded up, it's secured. And even though you see people here, there are no people on these corners anymore, which is a save to the community. It looks as a safer walking path now, just on the acquisition of the building alone. So that was key, and that was done through philanthropy and some of our partners. So what we want to do is kind of keep that momentum going, bring it in a great business. So I think by the end of this year, we'll definitely have someone selected. Then we'll go into the design process, and we're going to actually include that leasing in the design process. And then a year after that, we'll start construction. We're looking at the construction cost, because this is historic, we're looking at around $2 million, which is a big, that's a big, it's a big load, but based on the times, based on what we're seeing in price, construction costs is rising. That's what we're looking at. But I tell you, it's going to be worth it. We're going to partner with the church across the street, St. Mark's, to actually develop and look at how we can make this a point of interest for the community at large, right, and build momentum. So that's the kind of momentum we're trying to build around the Yellow Store.
And I see we have a few extra minutes left, so I want to open it up to the audience to ask questions if you have any. In the meantime, I want to ask this of our panelists. We know that there are currently a lot of people in the Home on the West Side program who don't necessarily have a full understanding of how the program works and what the realistic expectations are as far as the timeline is concerned. So in terms of addressing those issues where people are in the pipeline, or they're waiting to get through some part of the application process, just speak to what all goes into what makes it such a long wait in some cases. For example, I know getting permits for different properties, that can take sometimes up to half a year. So like those types of details, the average person doesn't really know necessarily. So what are some other things that people should keep in mind?
Well, I don't know. Are you speaking specifically to single-family sales or that process, or just across the board?
Just across the board for the average resident who's inquiring as far as the Home on the West Side program in general.
Well, I know from at least the multifamily side, there is a tedious permitting process that each builder has to go through. And the main point of that permitting process is to make sure we are building these buildings in a safe way. Right? We want to make sure we're meeting fire code, because what you're going to see, and you spoke to this earlier, in our poor communities, some of these things are skipped, right? Some of these things are looked over. They're not going through permitting, and they're not doing the necessary things to make sure that these places are safe, right? So over time, you'll see the kind of deterioration. You'll see the cracking of walls. These things start to happen that wouldn't have happened if we had went through the correct processes, going through the city's permitting processes. So that city permitting process for a multifamily development could take 7 to 9 months. Wow. Because we're talking about fire, water, sewer, foundation, roofs, like the whole gamut. So it's going to take you 9 to 10 months. So you've been living in the community, you've been walking past this building for like 8 months, you're like, oh, nothing is happening. Well, everything is happening. Everything is happening. And one day when you go by and see those hammers swinging, you say, oh, okay, now it's going.
Absolutely.
And 8 months later, you'll see people moving in.
And that 7 to 9 months could be best case scenario. I mean, we are still in a pandemic.
Definitely
have
best
been in one
case.
for 2 years, yeah. And so that's going to slow things down. So I think it's very, very important for the optics to be correct. And so, like you said, somebody's walking past these residences and they're like, oh, nothing's happening. Well, we have to get the word out and let people know, like you say, everything is happening. You just don't see it yet. Very, very important.
And if I could just add on to that, also fundraising takes time, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you're doing permanently affordable housing, you can't just go get a bank loan, right? No. You can't just finance most of the cost of the construction. We have to buy the properties, and then we have to raise the money to build them so that we can feel confident that we're not putting too much of a financial burden on the property, so that we then have to jack rents way up in a few years. So we've got to be very intentional about how we raise money to develop these so that they can remain affordable housing assets. in perpetuity.
Absolutely. And then also from a resident side, let's think about it. So this resident is getting down payment assistance and they're getting this help. But at the end of the day, this home is still their investment. They're the ones going to be responsible for the payment. Maybe the houses that come up at the same time they get done with the on-the-rise financial portion, or maybe they're not the homes for them, right? So then those homes are sitting there for longer, and then that homeowner is also sitting in the potential homeowner is also sitting in the pipeline for longer. But again, these are things that people don't think about. Or also maybe a person gets approved for a certain amount, and houses that are available, they're out of their price range. So, different things.
That's right. It's like dating. I mean,
exactly.
You just got to find the right one. It
At
takes
the right time.
but it's worth the wait.
It never happens, right? I hope it is, Rachel. I'll take your word for it. I think, any more questions?
Yeah, do we have any questions from the audience? Oh, come on, don't be shy now.
Oh, y'all, this is our first day back together.
Okay, Mr. Bellows.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I would just want to thank all y'all, because I know y'all doing the best y'all can. Y'all can't wave a magic wand and just say these houses just going to be ready just like that.
Absolutely.
But what can't wait is people, being pushed out of the area. They need somewhere to go and just start getting them started. Maybe some people just can get out and just start letting them know about On the Rise. On the Rise is a good place. Even if you might not get a house, they can help you with your financial, help you get a business started. They just helped me get a business started.
Amen.
And I just want to thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate you, Mr. Bellows. We got a question over here. Oh, we got a question right here with the mic. No, go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
With the financing of the homes, most of the people in the community have felonious records and everything. Are they allowed to purchase the homes or rent the homes? Because lots of apartments in the city of Atlanta, they're no longer allowing felons to rent or purchase homes. Is that the same situation with the housing that you're providing?
That's a good
question. I'll take a stab at it. Before I joined as an independent contractor, when I was on the board, when we were actually looking at the housing policies that we would develop, I specifically, asked staff at that time to look at what kind of look back are we doing on the records. And I would say this for two reasons. One, a lot of our families are single family and their mothers, right? And I felt that we were pushing the father out the house because he may have had a record of some sort, maybe when he was 18, 19, or, years ago. So we looked at our actual policies to say, okay, how can we build a policy that allows us to look at the record but not hold this person forever, dismissive of because of something they did in the past. So certain things we have to be specific about, sex offenders, things like that. But other things that are common in the community, drugs or, arrests of you were teenagers, those kind of things, we can actually look at those things and say, hey, let's go a different route with this. Unlike other federal programs, they don't allow you to do that. The federal program is going to automatically exclude you because of that. We developed our programs in a way that allows us to at least look at it and evaluate it and make a decision based on that, which I think was definitely what we needed working throughout this community.
And I would just also add to that, looking at eviction, right? A lot of landlords won't even consider you, even if you've had an eviction 10 years ago. And that's also not the approach that we take, because we don't want to keep people out of future housing because they had a traumatic experience in the past with eviction.
Absolutely.
Yes, I have a question regarding a business that is on Joe Boone. I live in Askew Heights, Booker T. Washington community, but I'm familiar with Vine City. It has a reputation. There has been a lot of crime committed around that shopping center. Are y'all trying to get rid of that? I mean, you have to work with I mean, very frank, I've been in Atlanta since 1977. I was born here. I'm familiar with Vine City. I own a house in Vine City. When you look at people who want to come into Atlanta, they have a very different view of Black Atlanta on the south side. I'm being very frank. But it's gonna, and I tell them it's gonna cost you. We're not cheap. So getting rid of that shopping center should be a first priority, because when you look at the park, some people will say, well, I'm not going down to the park. Look at that shopping center. So there should be some kind of effort between the city and the new mayor and all of those councilpersons rather, to do something about that, because people will not come in and buy those houses if they don't have the services. And that has always been something that has plagued the south side. I mean, look at the Walmart, the Publix, Publix left 3-4 years ago, Christmas Eve. And there have been 6 or 7 projects for Bryan City, English Avenue, and Askew Heights. And some have come to fruition, but getting rid of that eyesore, we got to do something about that. We have to come together and get rid of that.
Well, Derrick, you have
Well, we don't necessarily have a strategy on getting rid of any business in the community. But you know what, from the Westside Future Fund standpoint, we really rather the community step forward in that place. And not necessarily the Westside Future Fund, but the community at large, and really hold the city of Atlanta accountable, hold your councilmen accountable, and take those things to them. We wouldn't be in the forefront of something like that, and don't let me speak out of turn, but we wouldn't be in the forefront of that, but we do understand your perspective and respect your perspective. Yeah. We need the people who are accountable for that to step in front of that. Right.
Absolutely, and I, just picking up on that point, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm rooted over here, so I know exactly what you mean. And I think the bigger point, which Derrick just alluded to, which is that, no one organization can do it alone. Even everything that Westside Future Fund is doing, they're doing it through partnerships, with other nonprofits, through partnerships with corporate partners, as well as partnerships with the city. So that's point one. But point two, and I think the biggest thing, is that we have to start looking at what's really the issue. And the people being on the corner is not the issue. That is a symptom of the issue. The issue is largely based in people not having opportunities, economic opportunities. People being, for example, we talked about felons. A lot of people have records. I mean, for whatever reason, you want to put it on, people have records. That cuts them out of certain opportunities to the point where they feel like they have no other options. And I know people, like I'm speaking on behalf of these people who I know firsthand, they feel as if they have no other options but to be out here hustling, but to be doing these things. And exactly, yes. All right, yes, ma'am. Well, I appreciate it. But for anybody who might have had a similar question, but aren't as familiar with the area, there's a lot that goes into why certain areas are the way that they are. And you look at more affluent areas and you notice that the schools are on point. You notice that the businesses get support that they need. They have prime locations where they have access to clientele who have spending money, which that by itself is a big thing. A lot of people don't have the income to support local businesses in the first place, and let alone actually having businesses being able to, conduct their day-to-day without having to rely on, I need another grant, I need a loan, I need something that's going to get me to the next month. There's a lot that goes into why neighborhoods that feel downwritten are that way. Yeah. But I want to have the overall theme for that to be that these are still people and these are still our neighbors at the end of the day. So they cannot be discounted. They cannot be overlooked. At the end of the day, we have to come together as a community, because your problem is my problem. If I don't help you address your problem, it becomes my problem. And so that is what we're seeing, not just on the west side, but throughout Atlanta at large. And I know, there's been a lot of talk in the news recently, especially about the crime element.
Yes.
A lot of that comes back to our failure as a city to take care of our own. So I just wanted to put that out there, for anybody who might be looking at it that way, or not fully understanding the scope of the problem. It is a large problem that we collectively have to solve.
Absolutely. Amen.
So I'm just curious, how do you select the homes, the single-family homes that you acquire for rehabilitation? I noticed you had about 6 units really close together, kind of forms its own community once those homes are prettied up and beautified. How do you pick where you guys acquire?
Great question. So a couple of ways that we sort of went about that strategy is, one, we looked at areas where there were public investments. So by the Beltline Spur, by Katherine Johnson Park, by other, like by Hollis Innovation Academy. So, trying to sort of identify these places where there had been this public investment and wanting to ensure that we were purchasing property around those so that the homeowners, that we were going to be selling these to could benefit from that, because, around parks and stuff, that's where the home prices increase the fastest, right, once they're built. So we were very intentional about, focusing our acquisitions around those clusters, and then, trying to develop sort of everything around at the same time, so that it was a concentrated effort to, A, increase the impact, B, increase the safety, and to your point, make it have this kind of community aspect to it. And that's been what's informed our acquisitions and also pacing our development over the past couple of years.
Good morning. Just a question around addressing the homelessness in the area, if there are plans to provide housing for those individuals in some manner.
Well, I know what I've seen historically with, I don't know if you're familiar with Quest. Quest has really provided a lot of the homeless initiative in this area. And as Westside Future Fund has acted in a financial manner, assisted them in actual development in several cases. So while we are not at the forefront, we are supporting partners who have that as one of their kind of key initiatives. So they're coming to us for financing in some cases. We're doing bridge loans and helping them get to development.
And I want to piggyback off of that with Derrick, being in this community and working with the homeless population for almost 5 years. One of the biggest things is getting them the resources they actually need before you even put them into housing. So they have to have those wraparound services. So it's very important to actually work with Partners for Home and at actually Gateway. I know a lot of people complain about it. You can't get through, but there are assessors throughout the city to where you can actually send our homeless people actually to get assessed, because you need that assessment first. I think that is the first forefront actually before you even address the housing pieces. That makes sense? But just getting them assessed first to see actually where they are.
And organizations like Chris 180, where you used to be, helping families kind of come out of homelessness or not fall into homelessness. We have partnerships with both Quest and Chris 180, where we purchased homes from Quest that have families living in them, who are supported by Atlanta Housing, who are supported with case services by Chris 180. Same thing at our property at 603 James P. Brawley.
Quest actually has a great program actually with veterans. And even like I was saying, getting the resources, even partner with Partners for Home. They have a whole veterans actually program. There's a whole, like a unit actually to where they're specifically just for veterans. The key is actually getting them there. The resource, no phone, access to internet, and just finding the people. Yeah. But we do, one thing we used to do actually at Chris 180, we went to and we found actually those veterans as well and got them to where they needed to be.
And in addition to that, Home Depot, they have a big veterans push, and that you'll see on a lot of the tax credit developments that have received funding from Home Depot for veterans. They will actually have set aside of units specifically for veterans. So for example, if you see the 100 unit development, they may have set aside 15% if they got money from Home Depot just for veterans. So, you kind of have to be aware, you have to go to these tax credit places and say, hey, do you have this kind of funding? Or do you have housing specifically for veterans? But I know in the immediate area, there's at least 30 to 40 units. When I say immediate, a mile radius, that have veterans, dedicated units for veterans.
Any other questions from our audience?
Yes, I have one. Awesome job you guys are doing, but my question is, there's a huge disparity in terms of us owning homes, getting homes and owning homes, meaning being able to create a space where if people are having issues, I think the numbers are like 75 to 24% owning homes, us owning homes. My question is, when people are going through issues such as foreclosure or eviction, are there any programs in place to help these people? Because I think education is a key. And we deal with these kind of issues all the time. And a lot of people have homes that are even paid off and can't sustain them because they weren't educated on what to do. So my question is, what is you guys' thoughts? And are there anything or programs in place that you guys have thought about that will help people going through those issues?
No, I'll take a stab at it. One of the ways of being progressive, the actual money that we pay for those taxes, that's us trying to be in the forefront of understanding that a lot of the reasons for foreclosure is the fact that your property taxes has risen. It wasn't your note. Your note was $800 when you bought your property 25 years ago, 20 years ago. But that tax kept going up every year, and that's what kind of pushed you out. So our tax abatement program that we've created here, like she was stating, that's been a lifeblood for moving forward.
Yes.
So we should be able to see results in the number of houses, over a 10-year span, the number of houses that have not went into foreclosure because of that kind of program that we put in place. And what we were trying to create when developing the program was a model for other cities, other places to replicate if they could, right? Because our area only covers these 3 neighborhoods. There are 252 neighborhoods in the city of Atlanta. So what about all of those other neighborhoods that need the help? Westside Future Fund couldn't do that, right? But through development and policy development, that could be done. The model is there, existed. It's test cased in our Westside Future Fund neighborhoods. So we would have to be proactive on a policy level to say, hey, what money is available to the city of Atlanta or Fulton County that could help homeowners with taxes as they increase over time, right? And we should set up tax coffers for development, for future homeowners to say, look, we're going to abate property taxes over the next 15 years if you decide to do X, Y, Z. But that's more of a policy development kind of question, I feel.
Hi, and so I know I'm not on the panel, but I wanted to offer a little bit of context as it relates to our partnership with On the Rise, working with Westside Future Fund. A lot of what we're speaking of so far also stems from lack of either budgeting or understanding of savings, liquid savings. And so a lot of that we conquer, and through our partnership with Westside Future Fund, the reason why when you come to apply for a home on the West Side to have a home, you do come, we advise you to come to On the Rise, is because we look at your earning potential. We look at whether or not you have anything in savings, and we try to make sure that we adjust and help you budget for the adjustments that have to happen as it relates to, city taxes increasing. I'm like you, I live in the city of Atlanta, and my taxes, you can't talk to me, Google. I didn't ask you a question. The reality is that, I'm so sorry. Google's not talking. Okay, Google, stop.
Alexis.
So, this is why technology is really demonic can be. But the reality for me is that, truthfully, if you are with On the Rise, it gives you that opportunity to address any increases, because we work towards savings. We work towards budgeting. We work towards recognizing there's a huge difference from having a house or having an apartment. If you come from an apartment, there's an absolute adjustment to home ownership. And that adjustment is obviously can be very financially taxing. And the challenges are most times home ownership is the dream, but nobody talks about the reality of the road to home ownership. And then once you have a home, you need to make sure that when that furnace breaks, that you have, because that's not covered in anything that you have, that you have $600, $800 to replace or get it repaired. It means that we have to understand that if your job changes, that you have to have at least 2-3 months of your mortgage payment stashed away in the event that your income changes, because the bank ain't gonna care. They're still gonna ask for their house back. So those are the realities around that. As it relates to the community, there are partnerships. Westside Works, I want us to lift that up because we are all in partnership with Westside Works. That is a huge opportunity for workforce development. One of the challenges that oftentimes that we're finding as we're doing a lot of the work of budgeting is that people are not necessarily not having a job or not having employment, but they need to be leveled up in employment in order to sustain having a home. And so in doing that, like right now, we've got a new partnership with Family Dollar where we're direct hirers for those who don't have a position at all and they're looking for employment. We directly can get you hired into Family Dollar through our new partnership. Our ability to literally allow you to get a job in one of the surrounding area Family Dollars to start your journey. They take about a 3 to 4 month, if not sometimes 5 month opportunity, if you do well, to become in management. And in management, then you can go on to retail, and that increases your earning potential over time. And so those are some of the strategies that we are collectively employing. So it's not a question, but as much as it was a comment to say thank you for the partnership and to say thank you for the work that we're doing collectively and holding each other's cup.
Thank you, Ms. Olivia.
Thank you. And one last question from Rob Browner on YouTube. Thank you for the question, Rob. In 10 seconds or less, y'all, because we got to go. Are On the Rise services free only to Westside residents, or are they free to Atlanta residents in general?
To all residents.
To all residents.
They'll take anybody.
So come on, Rob. With that being said, we want to thank our panelists. We want to thank all of our guests from today, and we want to thank our audience for coming out. So we'll just have you guys exit stage left, but we want to bring back up our president and CEO. Thank you. Look, I got to get back used to the applause. Look, I was ready to run right through that. Y'all cut me out with the claps. I love it, though. I love it. So we're going to bring back John up, and we're going to get through the gift card giveaways. Yes. Ebony, I know we got some gift cards.
Yes, we do. And I forgot, I'm not used to being in person and having actual physical gift cards in my hand. So I tucked them away in my purse, and it's back there. But I'm still going to call out the names. Let me see if I've even gotten them yet. I don't see them here yet. Let me.
Well, John, did you want to reflect on the conversation real quick?
Yes.
No, I want to say thank you to the team for, complicated, all the interlocking issues around housing and keeping people on the west side, so complicated topic. So I just appreciate the team, planning our program, to appreciate all the great questions from the audience. So one thing we're trying to do more of, especially coming out of COVID, is to really explain what we're doing and how people can access it. So I thought it was a great discussion.
Absolutely it was. And what I heard, like being a recipient, being a resident, and not seeing it from the other side, and living in this neighborhood, and again, riding by the properties and not knowing what's going on, because I see them so many times a week, because again, it's my neighborhood, right? So knowing what goes behind every single property that gets out, how much work, how much money, how much time, how much effort, how much collaboration. So it definitely lets me know what's going on and why it takes so long.
So you teed up, go back to the donate slide.
Yes, I guess so, we're there already, right? Okay.
Go back to that donate.
Let's go ahead and do that.
One thing we wanted to hit is and actually the story of Nehemiah. When Nehemiah is trying to ensure the residents can stay in Jerusalem, he kind of commands the folks that own the land to turn it over, to give it away. We don't have that luxury. And what we're trying to do, when Rachel did the earlier slide, is there's a lot of private investors who are for the most part aligned to market. And so for us to deliver that affordability, we got to go buy that property. We can't take it. And we have to buy at a price that they're willing to sell. So a lot of what fuels our ability to go acquire properties and then partner with the city to rehabilitate is philanthropy, donations. So we want to, if you want to help us, to your earlier question, I mean, the rate of displacement is probably increasing because property prices are going up so fast. So we welcome donations of any size to our Home on the West Side program.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I'm so crazy. I'm sitting here looking at this ticket like there's no name on it. I was thoroughly confused. I don't know if anybody saw me. I got to get used to being back in person. So we're doing like real raffle tickets here. So as we know, Home Depot Foundation has invested millions of dollars on the West Side to help with revitalization of the neighborhood. And they're also giving something away today as well. I'm not sure which one is Home Depot and which one is Goodwill.
We're just going to go
We're just going to go with it.
Okay.
Okay, then. So for the Home Depot gift card giveaway, we have raffle ticket number 3990383. 3990383. 83. Yes. Oh my God, Mr. Corbett, congratulations. Again, I'll bring you your card, okay, because I left it in my bag.
Congrats.
And also, Goodwill of North Georgia is building a new career center on Metropolitan Parkway, which is set to open probably sometime later this year, and they are also giving a gift card away today as well. So the ticket number for that gift card from Goodwill of North Georgia is 130007. 130007. Who we got?
We got a winner in the back.
Ah, hey, congratulations.
Congrats.
I'll get your guys' cards in just a minute, okay? Sorry.
All right, one more heartfelt, thank you for everybody for tuning in. Thank you for everybody for coming out. Thank you to all of our guests. We appreciate you. We appreciate all of the work that Westside Future Fund is doing. Just personally coming from a resident, coming from a legacy resident, I love what y'all are doing.
Yes.
Thank you. Keep it up.
What's a big we, right, Benjamin? Not just us, but all you're doing.
And that's right, John, because we do with the community and not to the community. And that's something that I love about y'all.
Yep.
We will be back on April Fools, but that is not a joke. We'll be back April 1st. So come on out, everybody that's watching online right now. If you're able to come and join us in person, please, we're happy to see you. Dan Cathy hooks us up every time with the free Chick-fil-A.
Free Chick-fil-A
It's
breakfast.
right over there if you want to pan the camera over there for proof. It's right over there. You can get your free Chick-fil-A. All right, free Chick-fil-A, and it's breakfast. So y'all know that, come on now, breakfast biscuits, they be on point. But we will see you again April 1st. Thank you for tuning in. We love y'all. Peace out.
Peace out.
Here we go, at the top, class on the wall, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on the roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road.